Programming on WCS-TV is brought to you in part by a donation from Bridgestone. Bridgestone, your journey, our passion.
Programming on WCS-TV is made possible in part by a donation from Security Federal Savings Bank, serving its customers with 3 convenient Warren County locations.
Hello everybody, I'm Jay Walker. Welcome to another edition of the Warren County Coaches Show. A new year, a new football season, and a new football coach. We're with Tom Moore, head football coach of the Warren County Pioneers. Coach, thanks for coming tonight.
Glad to be here.
Well, Coach, first of all, as we mentioned, this is year 1 at Warren County for you. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into talking football.
Well, I have some experience. I've coached at some really great places before. Including Montgomery Bell Academy down in Nashville, and then at Brentwood Academy, at CPA's, Christ Presbyterian, and then later on at Franklin Road, and then most recently at Christian Brothers High School in Memphis, all of which were great experiences. And I had been a head coach before when I was at Brentwood Academy in 1999 through 2001, and then when I was down at Christian Brothers, I was just an assistant coach, and I got the opportunity to come back up here and interview for this job, and was interested in moving back to Middle Tennessee, and came up and interviewed and got the job, and I'm real excited. It's been great since I've been here.
I know a lot of people wondering why Warren County at this time when the schedule is going to be pretty brutal.
Well, 2 things. I've always kind of had my eye on this school. Know a few people here, and just kind of always wondering, why. There've been some bright spots along the way, but why it hadn't been, just a shining star. One school, big county, just a lot of good people here, and people love football. Why it really couldn't blossom into something more than it has been. Well, certainly, again, there've been some good individual years, but over the long haul, not that great. But really, it's because I have a relationship with Todd Wilmore, the athletic director here. Todd and I have known each other for a long time, and he's actually had called me, one time before about coming down and interviewing for the job when it was open. It just didn't the timing wasn't right for me, but this time it was. He touched base with me late, I think it was November, December, when the job came open last year. And it was just the timing was right for me. I was interested in moving back to Middle Tennessee, and I'd always had, kind of known about Warren County. And so I came up and talked to Todd and Mr. Walker, and I really like Mr. Walker a lot. He's a great guy. I could just tell he was going to be a good guy to work for. He's been unbelievably supportive for what we've been trying to do, and I just really appreciate him.
Well, you're in a situation where, as you mentioned, a program that hasn't had the best record in the world in the past 20 years or so, going into a season where we're going back to the Murfreesboro schools, playing some very tough competition. So obviously you knew you had your work cut out for you.
I did, and I didn't necessarily take the job because because I thought it was going to be great, or because I thought it was not going to be great. That's not why I took the job. I really liked the administration here when I talked to them, and I hadn't met any of the kids yet. But last year's team wasn't playing in that region with all the Murfreesboro schools, but they had success last year. They were 4-7, but easily could have been 7, or they easily could have been 7-4. Could have won 7 games. They were really only out of 2 games last year, and they played really hard in some games and just made some mistakes and didn't win. But I really thought Coach Smith did, and the staff did a really good job last year about getting those guys to think they can win, and that's. But yeah, certainly the schedule is going to be challenging this year. And that when I talked to Mr. Walker, Mr. Wilmore, the one thing that said I wasn't going to make a lot of promises. The one promise that I thought I could make is we're going to try to improve. And I'm going to be really disappointed if we don't improve from our first practice to our first game, and from our first game to our second game. And I'm going to stand by that. I don't want to really, say that we're going to do this and that and win this or win that. But if you just improve every week and your boys are, if you're getting the most out of them you can, and they give their best, that's going to be good enough. And I think over the long haul, the wins will take care of themselves.
Well, as we tape this, we're about a week before the opener against DeKalb County. You've had a chance to see them in a couple of scrimmages. So what do you take away from those scrimmages?
We've had 3 scrimmages. We scrimmaged Summit at Nunley Stadium. Then we drove down and went against Ensworth, a great program down in Nashville. And then we scrimmaged Shelbyville last night. And we added, and we're going to have a jamboree against White County this Friday, of course. I added another scrimmage this year because I think we needed, to have competition to go against. Because that's where you really improve is during those scrimmages. You can see, where to put people, where you're weak, who really wants to play, who's going to hustle, who's paying attention. And I've really been impressed with our quarterback, Isaiah Grayson. That's probably we had. He's the only guy we had coming back this year, quarterback, and he's a good athlete. Started basketball as a freshman, and I've just been thrilled with him. That position I was really worried about, but he's been, I just done everything we've asked him to do. And but the scrimmages, I thought we'd given a really good effort in the scrimmages. We played against Summit, and it's pretty even, but I thought we kind of controlled the ball and really moved the ball well offensively in that scrimmage, and played good defense. Not great, but good defense. And it's going to take us a while to be able to play great defense, maybe the whole year. Against Ensworth, we took them down there to play against a really great program, because we're going to play some other good programs down along the way in Murfreesboro, just so our kids will, when they get out on the field, they won't be in awe. And those guys will put their pants on just like we do. And we started out slow in that scrimmage, but I thought we improved as we went on, especially offensively. Then we played Shelbyville last night, and we scored twice. We didn't have a very good second quarter, and I kind of saw their heads down, and they weren't very happy, and I wasn't really happy either. In the third quarter, I just said, I want to see what you guys do in this quarter. You're going to put your head down and tuck your tail and run. You're going to go out there and play hard. And we had a great third quarter. We held them on a goal line stand, then we took the ball right down the field and scored. And that was a great way to end it for us, for our varsity guys last night. So anyway, we're looking forward to competing against White County. I think it'll be a good test for both teams.
I've seen a couple of scrimmages. I was impressed with the running game, how methodically you could move the ball down the field. Isaiah looks very poised behind center.
He does not get rattled, and he's the kind of kid that you tell him something one time and he does it. You don't have to repeat yourself. That's really nice. Pays attention, and he's really calm. He's almost too calm in the huddle. He's real quiet. He's a real humble kid. But yes, I would say that's going to be where we make our money, is with the running game. Last year's team had a lot of speedy receivers and had an experienced quarterback, and they were able to throw the ball around a lot. They were in a different offense, and from what we had coming back this year, we have some big, strong, pretty good offensive linemen. Ethan Stewart is probably, I think he's going to be as good as anybody in the region. He's just an outstanding talent, and we got some running backs that are downhill runners, not side to side. So that's probably going to be what we do, and also try to control the clock and keep the other team's offense off the field.
We'll take a break. We'll have more with Coach Tom Moore in just a moment.
Programming on WCS-TV is brought to you in part by a donation from Robert Oliver Bratcher of the Stanley & Bratcher Law Firm, located at 100 West Main Street in McMinnville, Tennessee.
Programming on WCS-TV is brought to you in part by a donation from the Middle Tennessee Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, serving McMinnville and Warren County since 1938.
Welcome back to the Warren County Coaches Show. We're with Coach Tom Moore, head coach of the Warren County Pioneers, getting ready for the 2015 season. Coach, before we go any further, let's talk a little bit about your coaching staff. Who have you got working with you this year?
We inherited the guys who were here last year, and some of the people that coached on last year's staff are not returning, but the guys we have coming back are really terrific people. David Upton, everybody knows Upton, you can't miss him. He's right. A giant. But he coached the freshmen last year, but he's had, when I got here, he was doing all the weights and strength programming, continued that when Coach Smith left, and I walked in, he was already doing that. And so he's our head strength coach, but also coached our defensive line. And Paul Martin, I've been here for a long time. Paul's a terrific guy too, and he's going to continue to coach linebackers. We'll call our defenses. Then we have 3 younger guys. I call them younger. I have Isaac Slatton, Cameron Bond, and Ben Matheny. And they're all working either at the high school or in the Warren County system. And they all played here, love the school, love the county, and those local guys are just terrific. They all know the kids and the history, and they've been a great help to me. You know, about what would work with the kids, what won't work, and you know, some things I wanted to change, but there's some other things I want to keep the same too. And those guys, I've thoroughly enjoyed being around those guys, and that's what one of the reasons one of the things I love most about coaching is the camaraderie you get, not just with your team, but with the coaches. And you spend so much time with those people that it's a shame if you're not close with them, you know, after spending that much time with them. We also, you know, we lost some people that were on the staff last year, and I had hired a coach to come in that was going to coach our secondary, and then went through spring practice with us, and he left, and he got an offer at a school as closer to where he was, and that was unfortunate, but I think things kind of work out for a reason. And then we had another coach who was on the staff that has been with us through the summer, and the same thing happened. He got a job close to home. He lived down Jasper and decided not to come back, and that's okay. You know, I want the people who want to be here, who want to be at Warren County, like I do. And we've been excited to have been able to hire a line coach, Joe Dan Gudger, and is a talented guy. He's been just doing a terrific job with our offensive line. He's hit the ground running and knows football and coaches those guys up, and is excited to be here. And you know, he sometimes doesn't show it on the field, but he loves being around these kids and looks forward to it every day like I do. That's what we have right now, those guys. We
mentioned the running game a few minutes ago. Tell us about your running backs. Who have you got carrying the ball for you?
Well, in our scrimmages, we've been trying to let a number of people run the ball, but just to see what they can do, different combinations. But I would say there's 3 or 4 people that are going to be the primary ball carriers. Ricky King, returning from last year. Ricky's one of the best athletes in the school, if not the best athlete. And you know, Ricky's fast and strong. I mean, he's up to about 200 pounds. He's an explosive kid. We'll also be playing safety on defense. And I wish I had 3 of it. Wish he could play at 3 or 4 different positions. He's a good receiver out of the backfield, but he's a downhill runner. Made a lot of big plays last year. He's probably the front runner, and you know, we want to get the ball in Ricky's hands as much as we can. Raleigh Woods. Raleigh's a sophomore last year, and Raleigh is a big back. He's about 6 foot, 235 pounds, and second strongest guy we have on the team. He's just a Jerome Bettis type, and Raleigh could be as good as he wants to be. I love Raleigh, and I don't think he's reached his potential, but just at his size, if he'll run behind his pads, people are going to have a hard time tackling him. He's got good hands out of the backfield. He's a good athlete. He can play basketball. But we're going to get the ball to him. He's playing fullback now, but he'll play some tailback. Jamie Jennings is a rising junior. Jamie's got good vision running the ball, play fullback and tailback. And then Noah Campbell is a rising sophomore, really good athlete, probably going to start in the secondary, good hands, runs behind his pads, knows he's going to be a really good player. So I would say right now it's by committee, but it's probably going to be Ricky King and Raleigh Woods running the ball most of the time.
How much are you going to use the tight ends this year?
That's the 2 people I love to throw to. I love to throw the fullbacks and tight ends, and I think in high school they're hard to cover. And we got 3 guys at tight end right now that I think, and we may use 2 tights sometimes. Hunter Hawkins
Right.
Hunter's an explosive athlete, every bit of 6'6", about 240. His best football's ahead of him. Hadn't really lifted weights that much. I just think he's going to be a monster. Hunter's got real soft hands. He also plays defense, plays defensive end, and we can't play him all the time. And then there's Mitchell Stembridge, who started last year at defense some, played defensive end also, and Mitchell's just about 2 inches shorter version of Hunter. I mean, he's about 6'3", about 220 pounds, and also has good hands. And then Josh Clark was a receiver last year. He was a big receiver, and he kind of came out late, and we've been playing him at tight end as well. And Josh has a good way of getting open and real dependable catching the ball also.
Lost a couple of wide receivers last year to graduation. Who's replacing them?
Right now, yeah, we did. And right now, Brennan Velazquez, we just call him Q. I forget his name. We call him Q because he asks so many questions. But he's got really good hands and could really play anywhere. He could be a fullback. He could be a linebacker. Could play outside linebacker, strong safety, and he'll do anything. He's a great kid and he'll do anything you tell him. He's been playing our Z. Colin Roberts is a newcomer that. He's going to be a junior. Runs good hand. I mean, runs good route and has real good hands. Has good speed. He's playing out there. McCall Turner hadn't played football. He's a basketball player that we got to come out, and I think McCall is going to improve every week. He's fast and he's tall and kind of a rangy type, and he's right now our starting X receiver. Also, Tyree Ledette is another receiver that. He was a basketball player. His brother played last year, I think, and Tyree's going to be a sophomore. He's going to be a good player before he leaves. Just like him to grow a little bit. But he's playing X also.
Let's talk about the schedule a little bit. We begin with DeKalb County, of course. Home game, big crowd is going to be here. I'm sure the administration likes the gate that we're going to get. But this has turned into quite a rivalry. You know, when it started, people kind of laughed, said we shouldn't be playing them. But they've won their share of games, too. And so it's become quite a neighboring rivalry there. And bragging rights on the line. And so how much do we know about DeKalb County?
I think they're a solid team. They have a terrific quarterback. I've watched all the games last year, and of course that was the first game, so I paid special attention to that one. Warren County won the game last year, but DeKalb was right in it. And that guy, that quarterback's a sophomore last year, and I believe he's been offered by Ole Miss in baseball as a pitcher. He's just a good athlete. And they have their offense is designed around him. He sprints out to throw the ball. He throws the ball downfield. They'll send 5 out, and he's able to have vision and find the receiver that's open. Runs the draw. They run zone reads with him, and they do just about everything they can to isolate the quarterback one-on-one. And that makes it really challenging to go against him. If you blitz him, it's hard to get him, and he's a good runner, and he can find people downfield. But they also, I was hoping they lost all their receivers, but I've heard they have some other receivers that are doing well this year. That's had some younger guys. So thanks Coach Trapp, he's done a good job up there. They've got those guys playing good defense, and they think they're going to win when they play, and they're going to give us. I mean, they're going to give us all we want in that game.
A team we haven't played in several years, Lebanon, is back on the schedule. We'll go to their place, new school, new stadium, I believe. So another team that we don't know a whole lot about right now.
Right, and the challenge early in the year, because later in the year you get film on everybody, but when you play these first couple of games, you don't really have film to exchange. Although sometimes you might exchange scrimmages, so you don't really know what to expect. And I really don't know what to expect from Lebanon. I know their coach had been in Danville, Kentucky. I think his name is Coach Harp, and he was a legendary coach up there and won several state championships in Kentucky, and then came down to Tennessee to take the job at Lebanon, and the program had been kind of down, and I don't think they were real successful last year, but I think he's trying to just build that thing up, and I know there's probably a lot of good athletes in the school. They certainly have a lot of kids in the school, and so I would look for them to be much improved.
Then we've got Cookeville, first region game. We know all about Cookeville. They got 2 transfers in last year right before the season started, and they had fine seasons. They're going to be very, very tough, especially at Cookeville.
They have Coach Maynard runs a good program up there.
He does.
I just like watching them play. They on offense they're simple. but they do a few things well. And on defense, again, they know how to line up, and they'll do a few things if they know what they're doing. They never look like they're not well coached when you play them. And you know, looking down your schedule, the thing I'm of course concerned about, I'm not really concerned about the other teams. I'm concerned about Warren County and what we do. And I think sometimes you can get big eyes, and if you start, you know, looking at, you know, how many, you know, big recruits the other team has, or how many people are on the team, or what region they play in, or what town they're from, and but you know, just get out there and play football. Sometimes it evens out.
And of course, we've got the Murfreesboro schools. We've talked about them back on the schedule, and you know, the fact that these kids are out playing football tells me they're not afraid. They're not afraid of anybody, and they're putting it on the line. They're going to go out there and play them like they play against anybody else.
Well, to me, I know it's going to be challenging, but even as a player, I mean, I played ball at Vanderbilt, and we I was there from '80 to '83. And we certainly played some good teams. Played Alabama, played Tennessee and Florida, and we played some teams that, you know, were out of conference, and playing some of the lesser teams, it wasn't quite as exciting. But even if you're playing against a team like LSU or Mississippi State or Alabama or Ole Miss, I mean, those are challenging. Those are the one things I remember the most. And I think it's a chance for our kids to really get better, because they're going to have to get better to be able to compete and stay in those games. And I think that's the thing that'll be memorable for them.
And of course, we got Sequatchie coming in to our play. I haven't played them in a few years, but nice relationship between our two schools, and they'll be coming to our place to play Warren County. I think that's homecoming.
Right, and they have a new coach as well, Adam Kane. I had known Adam before when he was actually working in college. He was recruiting our school at Brentwood Academy. I think I met him at that time, but he's actually a Macaulay grad, and I think he's really tightened up things down there, and they'll be. I would expect for them to be much improved by that time of the season.
And we've got Coffee County on the schedule. We'll be going to their place. We know all about Coffee County. Went overtime with them last year. Went for 2 and didn't quite make it. They've got a young quarterback who's a sophomore this year, and they're going to pretty much let him do what he wants to do.
Yeah, he is terrific. He is really fast. I mean, you hear about people running 4.4s or 4.5s. This guy is legit. I mean, there's really, my experience, there's not too many guys that run in a 4.6 in high school. A lot of people say they do, but they don't really. But this kid is really fast. And he really almost won the game for them single-handedly last year. But they had some young guys that were playing too last year, and I know their coach that was there, that was his first year last year. So I would expect for them to be not just with the quarterback, but much improved in offensive and defensive lines, and also on defense.
Well, Coach, what do you think about the support that you've seen so far for this program? Got a pep rally coming up. I know the boosters have been very busy. They work on lining the field and making sure that's taken care of. So you got some support. That's
one thing that's great about playing football here, coaching football here. The people here love football, and I think it's still the most important thing in the county. Now, there's so many other things to do now, like there is everywhere else. I think I've heard that the stadium will be full for that first game, and you know, if you win a game or two, it'll stay that way, and people just get behind you. The people here want to be good. It's important to them. And that's great for our kids. I mean, I think it's just going over there at Nunley Stadium. They love taking that walk before the game, and being over there with all that tradition, and a lot of the kids on the team, their parents played here or grandparents, and it's a real special environment to play in.
Well, I can tell you the stadium will be full on August 21st when DeKalb County comes to town. Coach, thank you so much. Appreciate it, and best of luck to you and the Pioneers during 2015.
Okay, thanks, Jay.
And we thank you for watching. For Coach Tom Moore, I'm Jay Walker. We'll see you next time on the Warren County Coaches Show.
Programming on WCS-TV Channel 180 is made possible in part through donations from your McMinnville State Farm agents Lee Holland, Norm Barnes, Neil Helton, and Bill Zeckman.